Hi, this is Sparrow from Sparrow Dreads. I am making a two-part video about how to permanently extend your hair or dreads with permanent wool extenders. There's tons of videos out there about how to do it with synthetics, and I've been talking about doing this for over a year, but I could never decide on what color I wanted to permanently extend my hair with. And as you can see, I finally decided to go blues and pretty colors. Blues and like pinks and turquoise. Anyway, first part I'm going to teach you is how to take your regular wool dreads that you've bought from wonderful makers or you've made yourself, both double ender and single ender, and how to prepare them for permanent extensions. And basically how you do that, um, I guess I'll just do it. For example, you have your single ender right here, and you need scissors. Those are the biggest things you need. You need scissors, and you need a really strong metal tooth comb, really fine, but you'll need that for making your own dreads too. But yeah, so I know you might feel bad for cutting your dreads, but it's worth it. And it's an honor to be putting somebody's dreads in permanently, in my opinion. At least that's how I feel, because you're going to keep them forever and ever and ever. So, cut. If they're really hard, really well felted, it's really hard to do that. But yeah, discard. You do not need the top anymore. This dread is now ready for getting permanently affixed to your head. If you hear my dog bark, it's because she is barking at her own shadow or a leaf or something outside. She is a spastic dog, and we'll ignore her. Okay, so what I'm doing is I am pulling the tip apart. Now, because this is one of the ones that I've made and I've crocheted into it, it may be a little bit hard to get in and around where I've crocheted, because when I crochet, I try and make sure I crochet the poo out of stuff. But yeah, rip it apart. The more felted the dread is, the harder this is going to be. So, and then you take your comb. We're going down here. There. I'll get to these in a minute. But yeah, you take your fluff. Hopefully you can see. Yes, I think you can see. And you basically just use your comb to simply open up the end and brush it out. The crocheting's coming undone, which is okay. There's no problem there. Another thing too, be wary of the size of the poof at the end and the size of your hair. I'm purposely making I'm backcombing my own hair into a dread, and I'm purposely making this just a touch smaller than the dreads, because as your hair grows, your loose hairs are going to, you know how you lose like 100 hairs a day and all that jazz, but your loose hairs are going to let go and they're going to be stuck in the dread, and it actually bulks out the dread. And the reason I know this for sure is because I have some dreads at the back of my head. This is fun, isn't it? I have some dreads at the back of my head that started forming when I had it, just wool dreads installed temporarily, and I decided not to comb it out, and they've turned into very mature, really thick. Actually, they were tiny to begin with, and then they got nice and thick, and they're just lovely. But anyway, back to combing. But yeah, you basically comb it out until it's pretty, I don't know, poofy and soft, and there aren't too many bumps in your actual extending part. I try to make sure I get anywhere from about 1.5 to 2 inches of length. And you can always just pull it apart some more. But no, what I was saying about the size of your dread compared to the size of your extender, because I get mixed up and ramble on about other things. Try to take, when you're combing, you're going to get wool in your comb, and that's good, because that's going to make this less bulgy, if you know what I mean, when you attach it to your current dread. And then you won't have a big bulge where your hair meets the dread, if you can see here. I'll tell you who made my dreads in a little bit here. But yeah, you just do that until you get enough that you're going to be happy with. One of the wonderful things I'm learning about wool compared to synthetic is the fact that wool naturally tries to felt to things. So it will naturally try to felt to your hair when you're trying to install it permanently. But yeah, there's a good example. Nice and poofy. You pull that out. Ignore my dog. You do that, and then there you go. That one's pretty much ready to go. Double enders. Double enders is pretty much the exact same thing. You figure out how long you want it. You got your center. You take your scissors, scissor, and snip. And then there you go. And then you do the same thing. Fluff it out, and all that. And then use your comb. And yeah, and yeah, in my next video, I will show you how to actually take one of these, and I will pre-dread my hair first. If you don't know how to make your own dreads, basically just use a comb like this. The finer the tooth on the comb, the better. Metal, I strongly suggest, so you don't break any teeth on your comb. But yeah, you just do that. You section properly. There's a whole bunch of guides out there on how to section your hair properly. I'm not going to get into that. But yeah, you do that, and then you just back comb until you create your own dread. Where's the one I just did? That's not it. This is one I just did before I started this video. And yeah, you can see I back combed and palm rolled and then attached. Okay, I'm going to tell you who made my dreads. First of all, this one obviously is one of the ones that I've made. This is made out of Leicester. I finally got my hands on wool that naturally goes all kinky and beautiful when it dries. But yeah, these ones are made out of Leicester. These beautiful ones, and yeah, I made that one. These beautiful ones right here, that one's mine, that one's hers. All of these, look, it's got a little gem on it. They're so pretty. I love the crap out of these. These were a really, really successful trade that I made with this dread maker, and she made me so happy because she actually did what she said she was going to do. Her name of her shop is Leviticus and Lilith's Locks. That's our card there. Me, and it's pretty. It's freaking awesome. But yes, she is absolutely fantastic, and if you're ever looking for wool dreads, I think she does scents too. I don't know, but for sure wool. She's in the US. And then this guy, because I had to see, and I've bought dread extensions from Dreadlock Madness before. This is her. She's absolutely wonderful. She's like my favoriteest person in the whole wide world. And these are synthetic, a little bit thicker. They're lovely. They're really, really well made. They're tight. I got about 10 of them of a whole bunch of different colors. I always favor wool, so most of my head's going to be wool, and I will put these ones in here and there throughout, and it's just going to be like little pops of color. There's some that are red and gray, and they're just absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, highly recommend these two dread artists. Yeah, and then of course the dreads that I made for myself. These are ones from a previous set. Where'd it go? There it go. They all match. They match really well. But yeah, these are ones from a previous set. I've actually worn these probably about 3 times now. 3 installs for about, 5 weeks on end or so. But yeah, I absolutely love my wool dreads. And yeah, like I said, I'm branching off into the fibers that do this naturally. But yeah, that is a quick thing of how to ready your already owned dreads for extending. And that's the best part, is you don't have to make them any special. You don't have to get anybody to make them special. There's dread makers out there who won't make dreads that are ready for extending because they have to leave the wool open on one end, and that's kind of a really big pain in the ass when you're felting. But yeah, you can do it with any wool dreads that you have, which is fantastic. But yeah, I will see you in video number 2.